Donald Trump's visit to Iowa offers a revealing snapshot of the Republican Party's internal dynamics and strategic anxieties as it heads into the midterm election cycle. Iowa, long regarded as a political bellwether and an essential proving ground for Republican candidates, has become a symbolic stage where Trump continues to assert his dominance over the GOP. His appearance there was not merely a nostalgic return to a friendly electorate but a calculated effort to shape the narrative of the midterms, reinforce his influence over party candidates, and remind both allies and rivals that his grip on Republican politics remains firm. The visit underscored the reality that, even outside the White House, Trump is still the central figure around whom the GOP's midterm strategy revolves. One of the most striking aspects of Trump's Iowa visit was the way it highlighted the party's ongoing identity struggle. For many Republicans, the midterms are less about policy debates and more about defining what the GOP stands for in the post-presidency era. Trump's rhetoric in Iowa made clear that he sees no meaningful, post-Trump, phase at all. By revisiting familiar themes such as election integrity, immigration enforcement, cultural grievances, and opposition to Democratic leadership, he signaled that the party's core message should remain anchored in the populist framework he popularized. This approach energizes a significant portion of the Republican base, particularly in rural and working-class communities, but it also raises concerns among party strategists who worry about alienating suburban and independent voters. Trump's presence in Iowa also revealed how deeply personal loyalty has become a defining factor in Republican politics. Rather than focusing exclusively on broad party goals, Trump used the visit to implicitly, and at times explicitly, signal which candidates he favors. His endorsements have become powerful currency, often determining the outcome of GOP primaries. In Iowa, the emphasis was not on unifying the party behind a single midterm strategy, but on reinforcing the idea that alignment with Trump is the surest path to political success. This dynamic has reshaped the midterm fight, turning many races into referendums on Trump's influence rather than contests over local or national policy. At the same time, the visit highlighted the GOP's strategic dilemma: how to harness Trump's energy without being consumed by it. Trump remains a formidable mobilizer of voters, capable of drawing large crowds and commanding media attention in a way few politicians can match. For a party looking to maximize turnout in the midterms, this is an undeniable asset. However, Trump's style, combative, grievance-driven, and often focused on the past, can complicate efforts to broaden the party's appeal. In Iowa, his speeches leaned heavily on familiar talking points from his presidential campaigns, raising questions about whether the GOP is sufficiently adapting its message to address current economic and social concerns facing voters. Trump's Iowa visit also shed light on the Republican Party's evolving relationship with its grassroots base. The enthusiasm he received underscores how deeply connected he remains to voters who feel disillusioned with traditional political institutions. For these supporters, Trump represents not just a political leader but a vehicle for expressing frustration with cultural change, economic uncertainty, and perceived elite indifference. The midterm fight, as revealed in Iowa, is therefore not only about winning congressional seats but about sustaining this emotional bond with voters. Republicans who attempt to distance themselves from Trump risk appearing out of touch with a base that continues to view him as its most authentic voice. Yet the visit also exposed subtle signs of tension within the party. While Trump commands loyalty, not all Republican leaders are eager to fully embrace his approach. Some see the midterms as an opportunity to refocus on issues like inflation, public safety, and economic growth without the distractions of past controversies. Trump's Iowa appearance, with its emphasis on loyalty and legacy, made it harder for these voices to gain traction. The result is a party caught between two imperatives: maintaining unity around its most influential figure and adapting to a political environment that may demand a more forward-looking agenda. Another key takeaway from Trump's Iowa visit is the extent to which the midterms are being framed as a continuation of broader national battles rather than a series of localized contests. Traditionally, midterm elections allow voters to express dissatisfaction with the sitting administration, and Republicans are eager to capitalize on that dynamic. Trump's rhetoric, however, often shifts the focus from critique of democratic governance to personal narratives about his presidency and ongoing grievances. This strategy keeps his supporters engaged but risks overshadowing Republican candidates who want to emphasize their own policy priorities and leadership styles. The Iowa visit also revealed how Trump's influence affects Republican messaging on democracy and institutions. His continued emphasis on election integrity resonates strongly with his base but remains controversial among independents and moderates. In the context of the midterm fight, this creates a strategic balancing act. Republicans must decide whether doubling down on these themes will mobilize enough voters to outweigh potential backlash. Trump's unapologetic tone in Iowa suggests that he believes the benefits outweigh the risks, a calculation that will shape the party's approach nationwide. Importantly, Trump's appearance in Iowa demonstrated that the midterm fight is also a test of his enduring political viability. While he is not on the ballot, his presence looms large over every Republican race. Strong midterm results for GOP candidates aligned with him would reinforce the perception that his leadership remains indispensable. Conversely, disappointing outcomes could embolden those within the party who argue for a strategic shift. Iowa, with its symbolic importance and history of shaping national political narratives, serves as an early indicator of how this internal contest may unfold. Finally, Trump's Iowa visit reveals that the GOP midterm fight is as much about the future as it is about the past. The Republican Party is navigating a complex landscape marked by demographic change, evolving voter priorities, and intense polarization. Trump's continued prominence offers both clarity and constraint. Clarity in providing a unifying figure and message, and constraint in limiting the party's ability to experiment with new approaches. The Iowa visit made clear that, for now, Republicans are choosing to lean into Trump's influence rather than move beyond it. In sum, Trump's trip to Iowa was more than a campaign stop, it was a window into the Republican Party's strategic mindset as it approaches the midterms. It revealed a GOP still deeply shaped by Trump's leadership, energized by his ability to mobilize voters, yet divided over how fully to embrace his legacy. The midterm fight, as illuminated by this visit, will test whether Trump's enduring appeal can translate into broad electoral success or whether it will deepen existing tensions within the party. Either way, Iowa has once again proven to be a stage where the future direction of American politics comes sharply into focus.